Boo-Foons, mystery investigators.
Welcome to the Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators. I'm Dan.
And I'm Steve.
And this week we are travelling across the globe to New Zealand.
That's quite far across the globe. And I just want to say, Dan, this is the second week in a row now. My voice is like this. I'm just not well. But let's do it. Let's go to New Zealand.
Let's do it. Let's go to New Zealand. Let's
surprise me, Dan. Surprise me.
Let's jump on Boo-Foons Airlines and travel all the way over to New Zealand.
Paper bag. You need a paper bag, I think, with this much.
The land of little tiny men with huge hairy feet.
Yeah, Peter Jackson lives there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little tiny man, and I'm sure he's got hairy feet. I mean, I still think Peter Jackson should have took over Doctor Who. BBC should, when he offered it, they should have given it to him and said, "Yes, run with Doctor Who, Peter. You will make this the greatest thing ever made." But no.
Yeah, it's about time that they give someone talented Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Anyway, this story this week is a bit Doctor Who-y because it is folklore and it involves
it's
a
not
monster.
Doctor Who. Sorry, Dan, it's not Doctor Who because it's too big a budget for Doctor Who. You wouldn't go do this with Doctor Who budget. This is not a Doctor Who budget episode. A Ghost in an Attic, that's Doctor Who budget. This is far greater than Doctor Who's budget.
Yeah, because we're talking about a monster.
And not in the closet. This monster is not in the closet.
For reference to those listening, I may have just explained to Steve that R. Kelly made a film called Trapped in the Closet, and he is now traumatized of the clip that I showed him.
Yeah, I really have. It's like the most shocking thing. It made me. It gave me a headache. It made my nose feel like I was going to have a nosebleed. But I have to see it now, and at least it's not monetized for him, so that's the main thing. We can laugh at him now, not with him. Yes, Dan. So, what are we doing in New Zealand, Dan?
Oh, you know what? I've forgotten what we're doing. We've got on an aeroplane. We've hit the duty free a bit too hard, and now we've landed in New Zealand and got very confused. Talking about Peter Jackson and the fact that he may or may not have hairy feet.
I do have my leg up on my desk now. So I only got one leg because there's one's underneath the desk. I lowered my desk then because this is going to be a long one, I think. Oh, no, I've just raised it. That's not good with my leg on it. Ow. That's better. Anybody who's watching the video highlights this.
So this week in New Zealand, we are looking at a Maori legend called the Taniwha.
No, Taniwha?
Well, it's spelled Taniwha, but according to what I found, it's pronunciated as Taniwha, which sounds very Welsh.
It does sound very Welsh. If you do it with your Welsh accent, go on.
Taniwha.
Yep, that's your Indian accent. Do your Welsh accent.
Taniwha.
It's the same thing, Dan. Everybody, I don't know what it is when people do Welsh. I'm sure we spoke about this before.
We have.
When English do a do a Welsh accent or an Indian accent, it's the same thing. Actually, don't know. It's awful. You need to cut that bit out, definitely.
Yeah.
Taniwha.
Taniwha are creatures that historically in the Maori legend were mainly associated with oceans and seas. However, as time has gone on with this story, they've linked them to rivers and lakes. With the word Taniwha coming, they think the name Taniwha actually comes from the sort of oceanic language across it, meaning shark or sea monster, to give a bit of context as to where it may have come from.
But if we're talking that, well, there's a lot of sharks in those waters, I think. I'm sure they're not just hanging around Australia. I think there's got to be quite a few around New Zealand as well. They may not have had any prime ministers eaten by sharks, but I'm sure somebody has been. And it's pretty
Um,
not Taniwha.
But it looks as though the Taniwha is a word that's in a lot of Proto-Oceanic words because it's mentioned in Tongan, Niuean, Samoan, Polynesia. It's mentioned loads of different languages, either meaning sea monster or shark species or
Hmm.
shark beast. So for it to be picked up by the Maori in New Zealand, it suggests that this is a more general thing than just New Zealand, but this is
Yeah.
a Maori legend.
Okay. Tell me
So,
more.
so in the Maori mythology, they live in deep pools, rivers, dark caves in the ocean, places where there's dangerous currents or deceptive breakers, so giant waves. And they are considered to be a guardian for people and places. However, in some of the traditions, like a lot of these folklore stories that we're finding, they can be seen as being dangerous beings which could kidnap people and eat people.
I mean, those places you're just talking about there, I mean, they're dangerous places to be anyway. And if you jumped into a place with a dangerous tidal current you're probably going to drown. Just
Yeah,
be sucked under, as the expression goes, and never be seen again. I mean, it's just tidal. We're just talking tidal pools here. We'll drag
it's
you out to sea, and you'll be lost forever.
yeah, but that's because they're being eaten by the Taniwha. That's
No,
why.
it's just because they don't know how to swim strong enough. But yeah, you can see it though, can't you? When people
You
go
can
swimming
see
and
it.
suddenly they vanish, they get sucked under, never to be seen again. I know we're not talking about R. Kelly anymore, so they just disappear underneath the waves and never come back up. We went to, I think it was last year, we went to Cornwall to a beach and they just warned us of the tidal currents. And the day after we were there, two people drowned. They were pulled under by the currents. And it's
Yeah,
just so common for people just to be, even on a very popular site, it's a beautiful place where thousands of people on the beach, you go to the wrong place and you're dead. There was
yeah.
no Taniwha there. It was just the tidal currents got them.
Well, here's the interesting thing about Taniwha. They seem to have lots of different forms.
Ah, yes. Let's hear.
So,
Are they going to be boggarts again? Let's hear.
well, in the oceans, they can be seen like whales or sharks. They can be
Do you
seen
hold a
as
second? Hold a second. Do you think they may actually be whales or sharks there?
they could be,
Okay. So okay. Could they also be thought they're seaweed as well, perhaps?
possibly.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Because the
Hey.
other type of monster they can also be seen as great monsters with razor sharp spines, with fish scales and large teeth.
Okay. Sharks and no, don't spines. There are fish with spines, aren't there?
Some have wings and can fly.
Okay, now you got me. That's not a fish. Unless it's a flying fish.
Unless it's a flying fish. And
Flying
many
fish.
can disguise themselves as floating logs.
Potentially someone's took a dump in the receipt and it's just a floating log.
So there we go. We can now say that the Loch Ness Monster is a Taniwha because all the images of the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland look like floating logs.
Yeah.
So there we go. It's a Taniwha.
Um, it's again one of those things we see so many times where people were seeing something and it's looking like so many other things. It's like, oh no, I saw the monster you were talking about, but it didn't have any wings today. But today it looked like a floating log. But old matey boy over there drowned,
Yeah.
sort of taken away by it. So it must be that float. I saw a floating log when he jumped in that tide pool and died. Sorry, this is where this is where I'm going to end up with like 150 angry Maori at my door, baying for my blood.
Yeah.
It's a silly legend.
You'll end up with the New Zealand All Blacks coming at you, going "Hoo-ah, hoo-ah, hoo-ah," doing the full-on hacker at your front door.
Yeah, that I would hide from.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I was saying, no, I'm Dan. Steve is the one in Bedford. He can go for to him.
Yeah, please direct all complaints to 10 Downing Street,
Yeah.
as per normal.
It'll just be
So-
ignored.
But the other thing about their appearance is some of them have great bulbous eyes, 3 fingers, a serpent-like body, and a tongue that has a long tube used to suck sailors from the surface.
Are we talking R. Kelly again here? Sorry, you would. Sorry, okay. So describe that again, Dan. Sorry.
So, as well as looking
There's way too much going on there
yeah.
for me to get in one to take in one go. Right.
So, as well as looking like all those other things,
okay,
they can also have bulbous eyes, 3 fingers, a serpent-like body, and a tongue that is a long tube used to suck sailors from the surface of the water.
Okay, so 2 of those stand out. One is the 3 fingers. Is this on one hand or 2 hands? This is a random 3 fingers just dangling there.
Well,
And
I think
also,
it's because it has 4 feet. In this depiction, it has 4 feet like a lizard. So on each of
4
those
feet.
feet are three fingers on each foot.
So,
and then it
so
has
they're
a
not
very
feet,
long
they're
neck.
hands. So it has 4
Yeah.
hands with 3 fingers
Yeah.
on each hand. Okay. And they like to suck sailors off.
Yes. From the surface.
From the surface. Well, I mean, it can be done underwater as well, but there's more chance of drowning.
Yeah.
This is so wrong. Okay, how? Do you know? I'm just surprised there's not more like military bases around there, more sailors like docking, just hoping to be sucked off underwater.
Hey, what you get up to in Plymouth when you're around that dock area is your business and your business alone, mate.
It is very lively around there in evenings, I must admit.
So back to the Taniwha, instead of
Please,
your
please,
weekends
please,
and
Dan.
Friday evenings. So where the Taniwha can be helpful and useful to humans
I think
is
you've already covered that. I think helpful and useful has already been ticked off that box there, Dan.
so that they could be protectors of places and protectors of people. And
Okay.
legend says that Wellington's harbour was actually carved out by 2 Taniwha in order to help the people to get in and out of the ocean.
I wonder if Plymouth Harbour was done the same way.
Maybe, but the petrified remains of one of the Taniwha was turned into a hill that overlooks the city to this day. So there's a Taniwha looking over Wellington to this day, protecting it because it was turned to stone.
Well, so obviously they've got physical evidence of one.
Yeah, because it was turned to stone and became a hill looking over Wellington.
Okay, so I'm currently looking at the map of Wellington. So whereabouts in Wellington is this petrified Taniwha?
Well, it's a
and
hill
so-
overlooking the city, apparently.
Okay, the skyline walkway. So maybe it's there. I'll tell you, I'm going to have to get my boy to do when he's back there next year, because he's actually, I think they're touring again there. I'm going to have to get him to go and find this for us. I'm going to set him a task to find the Taniwha. Maybe it's a place where Chocolate Fish Cafe is, because that does sound a bit like a Maori legend.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have chocolate fish if you're going to have a Taniwha.
Well, although they're associated with the sea, a large number have been said to come with the voyaging canoes that brought the Polynesian ancestors of the Maori people to New Zealand. Most Taniwha have associations with different tribal groups. Each group may have a Taniwha of its own. The Taniwha Urea, depicted which is sort of like a big lizardy thing, Was associated as a guardian with the Maori people of the Harukai district. Many well-known Taniwha arrive from Hawaii, often as guardians of a particular ancestral canoe. Once arrived in New Zealand, they took on a protective role over the descendants of the crew of the canoe they had accompanied. The origins of many other Taniwha are unknown. So these are sort of like guardians of the people.
Do you know what, though? You do need guardians. I mean, I'm looking here at a map of Wellington, and it's quite fascinating that, yeah, there's two big harbours there, either side, but there's an airport that separates one side to the next. You've got to drive through an airport to get to the other half of the island. It's quite amazing. I really want to go to New Zealand, honestly. But
Yes.
yeah, I'd love to go to New Zealand. And legends like this. But doesn't everybody need a guardian of some type? And if you're a local fisherman, and we've done these before, where malevolent or benevolent creatures in folklore, pretty much all of them have had, depending on how you treat them, if you get them drunk and give them cigarettes, for example, in Brazil, that will mean you'll be protected by them. But if
Yeah.
you're going out and you're a Maori fisherman and you're out in a canoe with just a few of you, you're going to want something to protect you. You've got sharks and whales and things with wings out there. You've got floating logs you've got to avoid. You're going to need something to protect you.
You are.
What better than a giant serpent?
And just in case you didn't know, I said Hawaii. Hawaii is the mythical and sacred ancestral home in Polynesian cultures, particularly for the Maori. So it's the origin point for all Polynesians and a spiritual realm where the dead and gods reside. So that's where the Taniwha have come from. Is this ancestral home where gods live.
Okay.
So Taniwha can be a ferocious and bitter enemy when riled or seeking revenge for an injury or death of one of its people, or when it is hungry. There are famous stories of how it has taken up to 200 warriors to kill one Taniwha, but it takes a lot of guile and skill to do this, as they are very intelligent creatures.
Well, she should just negotiate with them. I mean, if they're that intelligent, I mean, we've seen this with a lot of folklore and mystical creatures, that you can negotiate, find out what they want. Just say, sorry, I didn't mean to attack you. Here, have some tobacco and some alcohol. We're going to pour it in the water.
But it's funny you say that, because there are things that you can give it. So
Okay,
the
here we go.
Taniwha can protect its own, and so long as the tribe observe the respect and customs due to it. So if people have to pass by a Taniwha's cave or want to go fishing in the area that a Taniwha lives in, they have to offer it a green twig. Some people will offer it the first vegetable of the crop or the first fish or bird of the hunting seasons. Taniwha will give people early warning of the approach of enemies and will escort the fishing canoes safely back to shore. Although mainly invisible to humans, the Taniwha can be seen on the water as a mark of respect when the chief dies.
Okay, so Taniwha is like a whale or a shark, has wings and three fingers. It could also look like a log, but it's also invisible.
Yep, and in many depictions looks like a dragon.
Or looks like a dragon.
Yeah,
Okay.
in many of the
It's a watery boggart.
imagery, it looks more like a dragon than anything else that it's been described as. So, yeah.
Again, it ticks every box down. We got so many of these legends that tick every box. I don't understand why none of these can be like, this is what it looks like. Here's a picture. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know, all these other legends, they could look like anything. Anything you want. We'll just call it the same thing. I'm going to be really honest with you. I'm going to be too bottles of cider honest with you, and it's pretty. We shouldn't do this anymore. They're just making us up. Every time, every one of these we're going to do is going to be the same thing. It's like they're just making us up, Dad. You can't tick every box and say this is my legend. Let it be something. I want to know. This is what it looks like. Bigfoot. We know what Bigfoot looks like. We could do Sasquatch, no problem. Yeti, we know what that looks like. No one's going to say the Yeti either is a big abominable snowman or it's a floating leaf. It could be a little girl in a skirt, or it could be R. Kelly in a prison cell. It's like it could be all sorts of things. But no, it's a big hairy man. I want legends that can be. This is what it is. Not it's all of these things. So Maoris, get yourself sorted out, people. Give us a definitive. This is what Taniwha is.
Well, in a lot of artwork, it would suggest that Taniwha looks like a dragon.
Well, it's funny because that's none of the description they gave us prior to that.
It doesn't look anything like a dragon or describe
no
like a dragon.
Mentioned dragon. No one's mentioned dragons up until AI came out.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Let's have a look. I'm going to ask AI to give me a description now. I'm going to ask it for an image of what Taniwha. Please make me an image of of Taniwha. Let's see what AI does. And all I've asked it to do is give me an image of Taniwha. Let's see. Okay, right, here we go. It's generation an image now. It's summoning the image of Taniwha from the depths. And it is, okay, so far it's very dark.
But it's interesting because some of the images that I've seen, there's some where it looks like a Komodo dragon. It's like a big lizard. There's others where you can just see something blurry in the water like a Loch Ness monster. There's other images where it looks like a dragon. There's some where it sort of looks like some sort of strange cartoony half lizard half shark thing, whereas somebody has done an artist has actually made a sculpture, a rock carving near Lake Taupo, I don't know how to say that, which looks like a kimono dragon, so just a big lizard.
Do you know what I want? I want it to look like a dinosaur. I want it to look like a plesiosaur or something. Like at least people will have those descriptions of Loch Ness monster, and it's definitive. And that's we know these things existed, but they weren't too sure they existed back in the day when they said this is what it looked like. Okay, the image I've got here of Taniwha is a dragon. Make it look like a plesiosaur. Make it look like something that did exist. Then we can think maybe there was something still living in that vast amount of water in the southern hemisphere. I mean, it's just, you look at the globe there, and it is just, honestly, right, okay, I've got the globe here, and I'm looking at it, and I can see New Zealand on one edge of the globe, and on the other side we got Africa. No, we don't. We got North America zoomed in. But they got the whole from New Zealand to America. There's nothing in the Pacific.
Just random islands.
Yeah, just tiny islands. But it's the entire planet apart from the few random islands. Anything could be living there. But don't make it a three-fingered dragon who sucks off sailors.
Yeah, apparently they think that it could be crocodile that have managed to come from Australia, and because the Maori wouldn't have known what they were, because they're not native to New Zealand, they've made a legend around it. However, that's just a couple of people trying to figure out what or where the legend could have come from. However, this legend does actually come into the modern era.
Ooh, okay, I like this.
Because, so the Taniwha, as we've discovered, can be protectors of the tribes and live near the tribe and look after the tribe. So in 2001, there was a Taniwha that was featured heavily in the public eye because there was a prison going to be built in New Zealand, and an academic basically came out saying, there's a Taniwha living in the area. Maybe the prison can't be there, and there's a creature lurking in the water near this prison. And then he then went on to then say, however, it might not actually live there. It's just the Maori people's way of indicating they were troubled by the incident or event because of the prison being built there. But they built the prison anyway, and nothing really happened. The Taniwha wasn't bothered. However, more notably was 2002, so the year later, a Maori tribe called the Ngati Naho from the Mirmir district managed to get a road completely moved and diverted. So there was a highway being built, State Highway 1, and they wanted it to be rerouted.
I remember this.
So they wanted it to be rerouted to protect the home of the Taniwha that lived near their tribe. And the Taniwha was said to have the appearance of a large white eel. The Ngati Naho argued that the Taniwha cannot be removed. It has to choose to move on its own accord. And if they remove the Taniwha by force, there'll be trouble happen. So Transit New Zealand managed to negotiate with the Maori tribe, and they put in concessions have been put in place to ensure the Taniwha are respected. So a tribe managed to casually go, look, there's Taniwha living here, and they moved the highway for them.
That's awesome. It's so lovely to hear about governments looking after their indigenous populations and actually taking them seriously. It's it's a small price to pay to keep people happy. And also, to keep Taniwhas happy.
Yes, because we don't want the Taniwhas angry or upset.
No. I was just looking, it's 1,550 miles from Sydney to Wellington. That's a long way for a crocodile to swim.
That is a very long way for a crocodile to swim.
Yeah, I don't think it would do that. I mean, it's not impossible because creatures have travelled across the globe, really. Otherwise, everything would just be in one place. What was it you found out about mammals in New Zealand? You said there was no mammals in New Zealand apart from... What was it?
That was another legend.
Which again...
I've completely lost from everywhere now.
Yeah. So the fact there was only 2 mammal species living in New Zealand makes it very unlikely that a saltwater crocodile could swim from Australia. So there are saltwater crocodiles, obviously, like freshwater sharks there.
But crocodiles aren't mammals.
No, but they're also not fish.
No, they're lizards.
Reptiles.
Yeah, reptiles.
They're reptiles?
Yeah. They're reptiles, yeah.
Yeah, they need to come out of the water, otherwise they drown eventually.
Yeah, so the thing about mammals is New Zealand has
This is my biology CSE really paying up.
So the thing about mammals is that New Zealand has no native land mammals. However, there is a legend of something called a watereki, which was a small otter or beaver-like creature found in the south of New Zealand. And it's considered
sailors, so it got made extinct.
Yeah, and it's considered a mystery and legend purely because there are no native land mammals. So how did a little tiny mammal get to New Zealand to be running around?
On the back of a crocodile.
Yes, on the back of a Taniwha.
Oh, I'm confused. Yes, Taniwha. No, it's
the Taniwha.
It is great. When did people first arrive in New Zealand? That's an interesting one. Were there Taniwha before the Maori settled?
Maori settlers began arriving in New Zealand between roughly 1320 and 1350, arriving in waves
from Samoa, is that right?
East Polynesia to
Yeah.
establish the first human settlement on the islands. Archaeological evidence also indicates that initial settlement occurred in the north of the island between 1250 and 1275. So it could be earlier than that.
Yeah. Do you know, can you imagine? I mean, again, looking at Global Earth, Google Earth, and the globe, there's so little there. If you'd just taken that wrong turn, you'd be screwed. To
Yeah.
actually find that piece of land there is, yeah, wow. Yeah.
That's why, like Moana, you need to, follow the stars in the sea because they
Mm.
guide me. No one knows how far it goes.
I used to, yeah, I'm looking at all these here. There's so many little islands out there, but they're just scattered. So they're very lucky to find New Zealand and Australia. Apart from the earthquakes, obviously aren't very good.
No.
No, it's on quite a big fault line, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Part of the
But,
Pacific Ring.
mm. But you do realize when you look at it there's half the planet is just water. When you're looking at it from that angle. Yeah, I'm just looking here. You can see the tip of Australia. You can see just a little bit. You can see New Zealand in there, Antarctica, and then there's just like the coast of North America. There's half the planet which is literally just water, with just a few scattered islands. There's got to be something there.
I like how this episode has been more about Steve discovering geography of where New
Yeah.
Zealand is and how remote New Zealand is, as opposed to let's talk about the Taniwha and a legend.
Well, because that's rubbish, isn't it, Taniwha and Aurelia? I mean, it's like, sorry, Maori. I mean, it's just a story. You've already told us that it's going to be either a log. You lost my interest when it was either had wings, a log, it was a whale or a shark, and it sucked off sailors with three fingers. You lost me at that point. It did. I got distracted. I got distracted by the bigger picture, which is zoom out of Google Earth to see, wow, there's nothing there. It's just water and a couple of bits of land. It's like you turn the globe then to the other side, and then it's everything is just in one half the world. One half the planet is just all the countries, literally. Obviously, not including North America there because that's its own thing. But yeah, I, there's got to be stuff living there, Dad. And I don't think it's going to have wings and three fingers. I'd
Yeah.
rather there be a megalodon. Where's the megalodon?
Well, maybe it is a megalodon, but they've called it a
No, it's a
Taniwha.
log. A megalodon would not suck off sailors. If I just focused on one part of the story here, I think I might have done.
You've
I might be
become obsessed with one tiny bit of one of the many legends of the Taniwha.
Well, okay, this is my advice to anyone who wants a legend. Don't include sucking anyone off.
It sucks sailors from the surface of the ocean under the
Yeah.
water to eat them.
Tell you something, there's this tiny island in the middle of the Pacific. Tiny thing. It just looks pretty weird. It's just like veins. But it's called London. There
I
are
wonder.
people living there, and it's called London. That's crazy. I like that. I want
I,
to
wa-
go there. There's no.
I wonder which country colonized that.
I wonder. Wonder. It'll be safe when we're all colonized. That'll be the only London left.
Right, I think we need to I think we need to bring this episode to an end, don't you?
I don't know. Is there any other legends from no sightings, no photographs, no modern
No,
apart from rerouting roads?
well, apart from the rerouting roads, that's the only other bit I can find other than the actual Maori legend of that they're protectors and helped people come across to New Zealand in the first place. And they lived there and they helped build Wellington Harbour.
Yeah. And Wellington Harbour is again really impractical if you're going to live there. Because you got to drive across the airport to actually get to the other side.
Yes, but the airport came later. Some
Are
modern
you
thing.
sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, they built the airport in the 1300s. Yeah.
In the 1300s, yeah.
Yeah, they
Right,
definitely
okay.
built so they definitely built the airport before aeroplanes were even a thing.
But do you know what I do like though? I do like the fact that the Taniwha is known around the other sort of Polynesian islands and the language through the
Yeah.
languages.
Well, it's the
It could have
word.
just, yeah.
Yeah,
So it could have, it's a legend that could have traveled with them from wherever you came from, from Samoa, from Polynesia. It's just got to travel because these guys did do it. I mean, the things they did, the things that Moana saw, where she traveled.
yeah,
Unfortunately, just landed on small islands and didn't colonize anything too big. But to have all those islands, then to carry those legends across is fascinating. But they are just legends. At least with the Loch Ness Monster, we can see a photograph of a log every so often. A Bigfoot, we can see a picture of Bigfoot every so often, even though it's a man in a suit.
yeah.
I need more evidence, Dan. There's no more evidence. It's just storytelling, Dan.
But isn't that the whole point of this podcast? Is we look at random mysteries and talk about them,
Is it a
and
mystery,
there's
Dan?
very rarely a lot of evidence.
We saw a ghost, Dan. Okay, we didn't see a ghost.
Yeah.
We saw things happen. This is nothing. There's nothing modern here. There's no reports of anyone seen anything over the last AI generation or even before that. It's not like UFOs, is it? This is just. Come on, New Zealand. Give us something. Give us something solid here.
Yeah, but that's the nice thing about folklore and legends. There's very little,
Okay.
just a nice story that's been passed down from generation to generation.
If you're one of our few listeners from New Zealand, please send us something with a bit more evidence and we'll investigate properly. I want to see more. I mean, I saw The Frighteners. That was a great film. All filmed in New Zealand. And, it makes you think there could be some decent ghost stories there. There's got to be some. I mean, this is a land which only didn't have any mammals. Now it's full of them. Let's see something. It's got every landscape there. The place, most beautiful, one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and the people are cool.
Right.
I tell you another film. I tell you what, another film to watch. Once Were Warriors. Now that's a great film. One of my favourite films, and that's all New Zealand based. And I met Tamara Morrison once. We were drunk. It was quite funny. Just after he was just doing Star Wars, and we were all drunk. You wouldn't remember me. But got a photograph with him, but that's about it. But I was very drunk and that's like 20 years ago now. God. Yes. We can cut all that out, Dan. Sorry. Oh, look, there's a big volcano there.
Right, so that was the story of the Taniwha in New Zealand, a Maori legend. And yeah, so bit of a dragon or a shark or a whale
or a log
or a log. Yeah,
It will either protect you or it will eat you or it will suck you off. One or the other or the other.
so thank you for listening this week. We will be back next week with another mystery. Do follow us across social media, and if you want to keep these random stories happening, then do try and support us on Patreon, where we've got loads of exclusive content. So,
Yes.
goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm sorry, Dan.
Boo-Foons, mystery investigators.